Hey guys, so I was going to Cape Town city center, and originally I was going to make this video once I return from Cape Town, but I ultimately decided no, this needs to be made right now because it's kind of important. So if you wouldn't mind, just if you like what I have to say in this video, if you don't mind and you're not angry or whatever, right? If you wouldn't mind liking the video just so that more people can see it, because a lot of times retractions or corrections don't necessarily get seen in the same way. Now, earlier today, I made a video, this video right here. Finally, good news as I reach pre-deal with America on tariff. Right now, I don't think the video needs to be removed because there's a lot of other information in the video as well that is quite valuable and needs to be known. The big problem, however, is that there's a little bit of overselling that's happening on the side of not necessarily News 24 in this instance, although I get that a lot of times people want to not necessarily give News 24 a lot of value or a lot of grace, and I fully understand that, but by Parks Tao himself. So when I read the article originally, I sort of read it as we have a pre-deal with the United States. In other words, we have a deal that says the Americans are willing to negotiate, willing to entertain the proposals that we have made, right? And just so that you know, we've been tirelessly at work discussing with our counterparts in the United States. Having submitted our framework deal in May, we have signed a condition precedent document with the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. This is a precursor to finalization of negotiations. That quote is a little misleading. And the reason it's misleading is it's not really a precursor to finalization of negotiations. What it is instead is basically, okay, so how do I explain this in a way that makes actual sense here? A condition precedent document is a document that effectively says that two countries are willing to negotiate in earnest as a sort of both understanding how important this is in order to reach a deal. So that's what it actually means. It's not a precursor to finalization of negotiations. That is just objectively not true. At the time of making the video, all of the sources gave the same quotes, and none of the sources actually dove into the specific what specifically does this mean and what specifically does this entail. So allow me to explain. Basically, what we've signed with the United States is a deal in which the United States said the proposals that we have made, right? So dropping all of our tariffs, dropping the tariffs and the sort of complications around vehicle imports, steel imports, and the like. Those are sufficient for the United States to open full negotiations with South Africa. In other words, they're now willing to negotiate. Prior to this deal being signed, this pre-deal deal being signed, the United States wasn't even open to negotiations. But in no way, shape, or form, and this is where the sort of confusion lies, in no way, shape, or form does this mean that we have a deal. It just means that we have a pre-deal deal. In other words, the United States are willing to negotiate now. Now we're going to have to go and actually have this discussion, and I discussed this as well, where we finalize this deal, and the United States probably still has a lot of conditions that have not been met yet. Otherwise, we would have just had a deal, right? If the South Africans completely met all of the conditions, we would have had a deal. I want to apologize from my perspective and from my side for not doing more. I should have researched more. I should have looked into all of this. And I should have made sure that I had all of the information before making the video. As it stands, I made a mistake. But that will happen. I am only human. What I will promise is that whenever I do make a mistake, I will always own up to it. And I will always give you the actual real information, whatever that may be. If you're angry about that, I fully understand. It's not nice learning something and then learning that, wait, this is not quite the thing that was going on. I fully understand that, and you're more than welcome to let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about it. I profusely apologize. And yeah, if you like the video, like. If you dislike, dislike. I fully understand. To all of you that support over on Patreon as well as the YouTube channel members, I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful weekend. I'll probably see you later in the weekend anyways. A peace.